Hey guys, this is Tanner Smith, EDL 850, Module 6 on Internet Safety. Under the Children's Internet Protection Act, or CIPA, CIPA just ensures that schools take the necessary measures to control access to their internet, and it also has in the regulation to block or filter material on the internet that is to be considered obscene, child pornography, or harmful to minors. The connection with the E-rate and the Children's Internet Protection Act has to do with the eligibility for the E-rate program. So schools who are eligible for that program may receive funding for internet access and telecommunication services, but that E-rate program being in that does have certain requirements. Some of those requirements are that for the school to have the E-rate funding, there has to be at least one public hearing or meeting regarding the E-rate program, and schools must also implement an internet safety policy that protects the privacy of minors, that also blocks inappropriate material and protects minors using the communication methods online. Schools are also required to monitor student activity online through that. When it comes to Children's Online Privacy Protection Rule and Protecting Children in the 21st Century Act, in relation to CIPA, there was statutory language that was added to that from the Children's Online Privacy Protection Rule, and that basically requires students to be educated about appropriate online behavior. So that just kind of adds an educational tool into one of the other requirements. COPA is a regulation that actually protects privacy of children under the age of 13. The connection with the E-rate program and certain requirements is schools who apply for the E-rate program are required to include information regarding the appropriate online behavior or that educational piece, including interacting with other individuals on social networking websites and in chat rooms, and it also has to deal with cyberbullying awareness and response in the schools, and that has to be on the internet safety policy. Some possible consequences if certain requirements aren't met is that the participants of that E-rate program could be at risk of losing some of their money and be required to return some E-rate program funds if certain requirements are not met. But applicants can be given opportunities to correct some of the mistakes. So something, as an example, could be not documenting a public meeting or hearing, or possibly not including correct information on the district's internet usage policy. So those things, districts have been allowed in the past to correct some of those mistakes and show that they are meeting those requirements so they can continue to get E-rate funding. For my district, on our board policies, we follow KASB a lot, and I think, personally, I think that's a good idea, is to follow what our state suggests and recommends for our district regarding the legalities of certain issues. Our district policy concerning email privacy rights when on school devices and email actually states in our board policy, that students, teachers, staff should not expect any privacy rights if it is on a school device or school email. Those things are all susceptible to staff members or administration looking into that. If certain issues arise, the students do not have individual rights or privacy rights when it comes to school equipment. Coming back to KASB, regarding CIPA, the materials includes all required information to participate in the E-rate program is what I found in our board policy, and I was pretty surprised that our board policy on internet usage really was specific and detailed and included everything that was needed for CIPA and to get E-rate funding. Our board policy also states that it's the responsibility of the superintendent to continue that program and to submit the proper forms so that our E-rate program funding does not stop. We also had a district CIPA document written up. I think this was done last in 2013, and on there it has a documented date of the public meeting that the document was approved, and so that E-rate funding could continue. There are specific directions listed to meet our E-rate program, and we have that in the board policy. This included statement of goals and strategy, professional development, assessment of telecommunication services, and an evaluation of the process of our program. So those are all specific directions that we must continue to meet and ideas that we can continue to do so that our E-rate program funding continues. Next, consequences for our district. Our district does detail certain consequences if staff or students do not use the devices properly. It does say the district retains the right to discipline any student or staff member for improper use, and that could be expulsion for students or termination for staff members. And here are my resources that I found my material. I enjoyed this activity and this module. I thought it provided me an in-depth look at what my district does, and I was pleasantly surprised that we are pretty specific when it comes to SEPA and meeting the E-rate program requirements. So thanks. I'll see you guys later.